using an MFR5 tonight. We're going to get vignetting with this because the size of the chip. Oh, good stuff. Swamp Jack. Okay. And we've got M57 in there. I'm getting a lot of vignetting. Yeah, aka Mallin. Okay, it doesn't seem to detect as much colors in the ring as compared to yesterday. It is an RGB sensor, but it is also an X-View add sensor. So this is a 1.5 second exposure under blue skies. And I need to reduce the frame speed. There we go. The gain is set at 23, and that's a 1.5 second. Here, I'm going to put back the gain to the lowest. It's still 1.5. This is the gain at minimum, so if we put this about 22, we're going up a little bit higher. There you go. This is 31. The gain is at 31 at the moment. So vignetting is caused by the excuse me, the MFR5, which is designed to go with an 8mm, up to 8mm sensor. This is 11mm, so it's a little bit too small for this camera. As long as we don't get star distortion on the edge, we'll be all right. Besides, the sky is still blue at the moment, so we're looking through blue sky. Pardon me. I'm just curious about something here. Wow, that really cleaned it up. This is a 4 frame stack in average. This is incredible. This works good. This system works extremely well. This is very impressive. I got bug spray on the monitor here, so I gotta clean that because the nasty mosquitoes are out. Wow, this is nice actually, quite nice. And this is just an average stack of 4 frame only. I bet you could get away with 3 to reduce the noise. And this is what we're going to do now. There, you can see a little bit, it's a little bit noisier. This is a 1.5 second. And the sky's still blue here. The gain is set at 31 at the moment. That's 31 times the sensitivity of the sensor. So it's 1.5 seconds. 100%. It goes by time, so 31.375 time. That means the gain is turned up to deliver 31 times more sensitivity to the gain, to the sensor. And it goes up to 100 times. So you can actually physically bring that up 100 times more sensitive, which I could do right now if you wish. And here is 100. At 1.5 seconds. Here's the thing I want to try though. Hang on a second. Look at all the noise we got in there. Here's the part I want to. Okay, we got 3 frames stacked right now. Look at the amount of noise we got rid of. That is incredible. Very smooth. Most likely I could go a little bit more here. We're going to take the stacking off and go to 5 frames. All right, this is, yeah, this is 1.5 seconds full gain. The sky's still blue, so this is not a good way to start this. But anyways, here, watch this. What's the image? Look at that. Here's our 5 frame stack. Wow. Isn't that something else? And there's no frame correction on this. Yeah, 1.5 seconds, and the gain's all the way up, full rip. And now we're starting to detect color. So what we've done with the gain at 100, it says 100 times. There's an X next to it. And that means we have increased the sensitivity of the sensor alone without touching the exposure by 100 times more sensitive than if the gain was turned off. So it makes the sensor much more efficient. Oh, this is pretty nice actually. Now we're gonna bring back down, bring the house back down. There you go. It's 31 was pretty good. There's 31, and we still have 1.5 seconds. Not yet, Jack. If you don't mind, I'd like to just experiment a little bit and see what kind of result we're going to get. I'm going to increase it 2 seconds. Here, this is 2 seconds. Oh, this is amazing. And we are still running with the stacking of 5 frames. Here, I just shut off the average stacking. Obviously, the average stacking, you can see every refresh right now. The noise is random. Now, this is a progressive scan sensor, CCD sensor. What I've been saying for the past 2 nights is all progressive scan, CMOS or CCD, will have a graininess to it. And you can see that very well here, actually. But to get rid of this, you add either 4. Actually, 4 would be plenty. You just quad average 4 frame, and watch what's going to happen. The image is going to turn super smooth. There you go. Here it is. It's going. That is remarkable. And I detect some faint detail in the ring itself. And the sky's still blue here. It's not 100% dark yet. This is quite amazing. Here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to stack 2 frames. This is actual stacking. This is 2 frames stacked. That's quite the extra gain we're getting out of it here. As you can see, it works really, really well. I'd rather have average because it simply removes the noise and the graininess of these type of sensors. So we're going to increase the gain here to 52. This is 52 times. And of course, the more gain you give, the more noise you're going to get. Basically, it's the graininess. We're still at 2.5 second exposure. Sky's still blue. I'm going to stack 4 frame average. So let's see the results of that. There we go. Look at that. Wow. That's impressive. I like that a lot. As long as your tracking on the scope is good, you shouldn't have an issue. This is just an average tracking. It's an Altaz. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Yes. Nicer color, and you can really see both stars. Here, I see both stars in the center. They're faint blue there. Now, what I'm going to try is just stop the stacking for a moment. I'd like to zoom that in a little bit more. Oh, did I crash this? Okay, here we go. That's a little bit too much zoom. Let's go back to 75. There you go. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's enable the stacking now. So we're at 52 gain, 2.5 second exposure under blue skies. Now watch the noise disappear. This is the part I like. There we go. Wow. That's pretty cool. Nice round stars and no ankle. And now we could actually go and turn the sharpness on. Hang on a second and see if we could get a little bit better. I think I would need to go a little bit longer exposure to bring out more detail or more gain. I think I might be out of focus a little bit, folks. And this is what I'm going to do. Let me cut back the exposure completely. I would increase the gain all the way to 100. And I'm going to use the zoom on the star. I'm going to pick this guy here. This is a half a second, 500 milliseconds. And I'm going to select here the electric focuser here. Let's see if yeah, it looks like I'm definitely out of whack here on the focus. Let me lower the exposure down to maybe 100 milliseconds, not quite, 79 milliseconds. Here's 132. And we're going to try to focus properly here. Hang on. There. Whoop. That's it. All right. Just a sec. All right, bear with me for a moment, folks. We're going to get that going. Difficult to get. Obviously, the atmospheric conditions are very, very rough. Here's a star that we could focus on, I guess. Right next to the ring. This is 100 millisecond exposure and full gain. And of course, if we use, there, let's try this. All right. Okay, here we go. We are at 2.5 seconds. Yeah, it's focused better for sure. And we're still stacking 4 images, so. Oh, I forgot to turn the gain down. This is way too high. Let's go back to 52. Still not dark enough because we can tell by the background it's kind of a bluish, greenish. Here's the actual exposure without stacking. Okay, so we could try binning. Times 2 binning, so there you go. That's what happens. So what we need to do is bring the gain all the way down. This is binning mode. So now the gain's at 12. And we're just going to press the to fit on the screen. $125 maybe. All right, there we go. That's not bad at all. This is binning times 2. We can see the star pops in and out, and the gain is down to 12 instead of 53. And this is 2.5 second exposure. There's no stacking yet, and I am going to enable the average stacking of 4 frame to lower the amount of noise. Still not dark. We still got this bluish, greenish background. It's a very powerful camera. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. There's so many ways to increase the gain on this thing and keep the exposure very short. I think I'm going to increase it to 4 seconds. There you go. Let's see what 4 seconds is going to give us. Okay, here's 4 seconds. It's getting nice. And we could activate the sharpness a little bit at 19%. And in this case, we could probably increase the stacking at 5 frames instead of 4. So let's wait and see a little bit what's going to happen. Let's activate that average stacking. Watch that noise disappear. I love it. It's like magic. It just disappears completely. And that's why you don't need a cooler on this camera at all. You do have a dark frame subtraction if somebody wants to use it. There you go. That's beautiful. It's getting there. I'm going to turn up the sharpness slightly. I want to be able to detect the wispy detail in the ring, and that's what I'm after. We certainly see the 2 central stars easily. I need to check the color here, the saturation. I've got the saturation turned down a little bit to so we're over-colored. We got to watch for color noise. The color gains, their RGB, are set at 1.501 each, so I did not do a white balance. I rather just set everything even, and that way we get good results. This is binning mode at 4 seconds, and the gain is at 12. I'm going to increase the gain a little bit more to 15, 12 to 15, and we're obviously going to get a brighter image. I don't want to increase the exposure because of the tracking. And the other issue is the atmospheric conditions. We saw the moon, everything moving caused by the heat waves. So same thing's going to happen for deep sky. So we got to go easy on that. Keep exposure short, it's the key, and increase the gain instead of is one way to go. Let me stop the stacking a little bit. I'm going to jump that up to 6. And turn up the sharpness a little bit. And let's engage that. Yes, it's starting to pop actually. Wait, just re-engage the stacking, average stacking to get rid of the noise. And I turn up the sharpness slightly. Yeah, the famous wheel. You can see it well, and we could actually see the galaxy here. Wow. Wow, the noise disappears completely. This is amazing. No, it's above actually. It's right above the M57. If you look right on top of M57, that's where the 1296 is. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, yes, correct. It's south, 7 o'clock position. Wow, we're picking up really, really nice detail in there. Yeah, I do. One more thing to hog down Windows 10. Windows 10 is not going to handle Olympic Ben. Are you kidding? Windows 10. I'll wait till I get my Windows 7 in here and then I'll use Epic Ben for sure. Well, here's what I could do if you wish. Oh, I think I'm going to make this thing crash. Be careful. All right. It's right on top. I was thinking increase the gain, but I gotta leave that at 15. I'm gonna put this back to where it was. There. Um, okay, I'm gonna bump that up to 5 seconds exposure.
God damn.
I thought I had a good pen on this thing here. Let me see. Oh, sorry about that. I do have a big pen somewhere. I did, anyways. No, I don't. That was on the other computer that had a big pen, so I don't have it anymore. Here's 5 second exposure. And the background's getting darker, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna bring back down to 4 seconds, I think. And increase the gain from 15 to 19. Hi, Will. Nice to see you back. Okay, so we went from 15 gain to 19 times. And it went back to 4 seconds instead of 5. Yes, I am, Bob. The MFR5. I'm using the MFR5. I decided to try that out tonight. I was on with the Extreme EX earlier on in the moon, and then I decided to switch on the StarVision. This is a fresh batch we just made, and I wanted to test the software again and make sure everything works. And boy, I tell you, this is a USB 2 camera, and it is so easy on the computer. The software never crashes on us if you do something catastrophic. I'd say about 5 F5, give or take. F6, F5. There's no spacer ring on it or anything. You can tell there's a vignetting. This is normal because the F55 is made to go on a up to 8 millimeter of sensor. This guy here is an 11 millimeter, so a little bit too wide. I could have used the front part of the MFR5 and added spacer. We wouldn't get any vignetting at all in this case, but we get more magnification of it. I'm just doing a brief testing here. I really like this camera. I always did, always will. The simplicity of it is what I like, and it's a USB 2, so it's very easy on the system. Oh, that's my fault. Sorry, folks. That's correct. Yes, the MFR 5 consists of the MFR 6 and MFR 8, which the first one is at 5.5 and the second one is at 0.8. So technically, you go down to f3.3 or average or so. But because of the distance between the last lens of the MFR 5 and the sensor, it's not standard, if you wish. The reduction is about f5. That's what I would estimate it at. I can always remove it and try to go at f10. I'd be curious to see what kind of result we're going to get out of it. It's very easy to do on this camera. It is so small, so compact, so easy to maneuver. That's one of the things I really like about this camera. Okay. Just going to increase the gain a little bit more. We're going to work with the gain here. We're going to go from 19 to 27, so that's going to be quite a lot. Now we can see the background's no longer blue-greenish, so we are entering into more darkness, so the sun's not going to affect us too much at the moment, so which is good. Okay, there we go. The gain is increasing quite a lot, and we certainly can see IC 1296 right above. Above M57, you've got a group of 7 stars. 6 of them are in the circle, and then there's a center shaft. I call it the wheel. And right below the shaft, you're going to see a smudge. And that is 1296, IC 1296. And we still have 4 seconds. I only increased the gain here. We went from gain 19 up to 27. And what I'm about to do here is stop the exposure a little bit. Not the exposure, sorry, the stacking. And let me go for 7 frame. I'm going to lower the sharpness a little bit. There we go. Let's reactivate this to get 7 average frame, which will get rid of the noise. And this is the part I like because while it's building up, you'll know it right away. Everything's going to disappear as far as noise is concerned. Right now, we could barely detect 1296 because of the random noise. But once this is average stack, it's going to disappear. So signal to noise ratio increase, and we get a really nice view. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like magic. It's just pops right out and it's done. Excuse me. Now we could change the contrast, the gamma, the black level. We could do a bunch of other things with the software. There's also a 3D noise reduction. That's something I wouldn't mind trying it out. Nino, you're right, absolutely right. Yes, the rings start to pop. I think the gain's a little bit too high, mind you. I would need to lower the exposure a bit, so I'm going to go back down to 3 seconds. And we're going to keep the gain at 27. So okay, let's wait and see what 3 seconds. See, 3 seconds, we get to see more detail in the ring. Long exposure is not always the answer. The only time you're going to go long exposure is the camera does not have the sensitivity required to give you a good signal to noise ratio. That's correct. You're absolutely right. The swamp jack, it's not washed out anymore. So it's the idea to find a balance between that. Yes, they do. The 2 central star and the 3rd one on the right. In the ring itself comes right out. It's beautiful. We got less vignetting as well, so everything is more balanced. That's picture perfect. Live. 3 seconds. Gains at 27. And I am stacking 7 average frame to lower the noise. There's also a function called black level, and we're going to try that. Absolutely, Swamp Jack, you're very right on that. The nebulosity extends. Also extend on the right a little bit, but the left side is more prominent. I'm going to lower the black level. Whoop, I lowered it too much. Sorry about that, folks. Let me, maybe I shouldn't. Hang on. That would depend. Yeah, black level is best left alone at 0. Let's increase it instead. Let's see what we're going to get. Oh, I see. We're getting more of a whiter background. All right. Okay, that's nice. I'm going to turn off the black level. This is nicely balanced image. So in the background, there's no anglo in this chip here. If you push the gain, you are going to see a little bit of angle to the lower right, but it's very, very, very minor. Let's test the contrast here, see what kind of result we're going to get. So, all right, so we're getting a little bit darker, I guess. Okay. This is very nice. And the functions are instant on this, well, more of instant. All right, there we go. I want to increase the gain a little bit more, so we're going to go up to 35 of gain. Keep the exposure at 3 seconds. Now we're starting to overwash the ring again, and that's the part I don't like. So we could lower the exposure down to 2-second exposure and increase the gain. There we go. You see the step-by-step of the 7 framing stack at 2 seconds. So this is 2-second exposure, and the gain's at 35. Still not bad at all. We did lose IC 1296 a little bit. Let me increase the gain to 51 from 35. So we're going to see what kind of result we're going to get. We're still at 2 seconds. There you go, the gain's building, and 1296 is popping out, which indicates that the actual gain does work. I'm going to put back the gain at 30. This is pretty nice. It's quite intriguing to look at. Okay, it's 10 o'clock, folks. I'm going to be pulling the plug. I only had 2 hours of sleep last night from the broadcast last night. I took a couple of snaps while we're doing this. I'm really pleased to see the StarVision work really, really well. The colors are very nice, well balanced, and stars are nice. Everything is nice. The software is flawless, and it's a USB camera, a USB 2, not USB 3. You could run this on any computer, and that's what I like. That's why I have to switch on this camera, because of the difficulties with Windows 10 I have. It runs it no problem with this system here. So Bob and Swapjack and Nino, oh God, everybody else. Rick is on there as well. Will, We got David that was in there earlier, does Cherry as well. Had a bunch of guesses. Nice to see you all, and we're going to be pulling the plug. 10 o'clock is a little bit late for 2 hours of sleep I had last night, so it's time to go flat side, as they say. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.